All right, welcome back into Cherry Picking, everyone. Today's episode, buy, hold, and sell defensemen for the rest of the season. I did this with goalies 2 weeks ago. I also did it with forwards recently. I haven't done one with defensemen since the new year, so figured I'd look at 3 guys for the rest of the season that one you'd buy, one you're holding on to or potentially buying right now, and then one guy you're selling, trying to get the best value from right now. All right, so the first guy we're going to be looking at, along with Brent Burns, honestly, Brady Skjei has been a bright star on this Carolina Hurricanes team, and it's tough to because there is a ton of talent, but he quietly has 10 goals on the season, which is tied 6th amongst defensemen on the year. He's actually moved up and is playing on the first power play too, with Tuvo as his D partner, and then other guys on that first power play feature Svechnikov, Aho, and then Steven Nosen as well. He's also on the second penalty kill with Brett Pesce, who is his D partner as well. I think this is a perfect fit for Skjei as well. Pesce is much more defensive, much more puck controlling defenseman, doesn't rush the puck as much as Skjei does, and doesn't have as good as a shot as Brady Skjei, so they complement each other really well. In the Hurricanes' last 10 games too, he leads all defensemen in expected goals for, high danger chances, and ice time, which is pretty surprising. He's a newer defenseman on this team for sure compared to some of the other guys, other than Brent Burns, obviously a veteran presence on this team. But Rob Brind'Amour is clearly starting to put this guy in more offensive situations. And if the off chance he isn't getting put in these situations, he's creating them himself. I think his usage on the power play honestly exemplifies that. They target him on the power play. I was watching that Buffalo game right before the All-Star break. He was lining up for a lot of 1-Ts, and he was also creating a lot of opportunities for other guys on that power play, kind of quarterbacking that first line. Carolina's offense is also one of the best in the league too. If you're looking at Corsi percentage, they lead the league in that. Expected goals for is also a category that they're top 3 in the league as well. Shots on goal for, so they're creating a ton of offense. They're scoring a lot. Brady Skjei, will be one of the guys that will be a focal point of that offense moving forward. And for the second half of the season, I think Brind'Amour will actually put even more faith into this kid. All right, so the next guy we're going to be talking about, Darnell Nurse. He's a hold in this video. I can honestly say I'm pretty surprised where this guy is right now in the fantasy hockey rankings when you're looking at his number compared to other defensemen, but he's 16th ranked. I think we're going to see a much more offensive second half of the season from Darnell Nurse here. He has just 6 goals on 124 shots. It's a shooting volume of just 4%. That's really low for Darnell Nurse. His shot volume also top 12 in the NHL so far this season amongst defensemen, which is pretty substantial for a guy who has just 4 goals. And the fact that he has just 25 points on a team that features Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, and the fact that this Oilers team is averaging around 4.5 goals per game over the last month of hockey, I just don't see it really panning out the second half of the season how it did the first half. I think he'll be much more offensive and get a little bit more puck luck. The one good thing for his fantasy owners is he eats shots and hits people a ton. So he's very valuable in categories leagues, bangers leagues, if he's not scoring as well, which is something you can kind of take as a safety net for the second half of the season too. If only Jay Woodcroft would put this guy on the first power play line other than Tyson Barrie, I think he'd actually be a better option. I don't think Tyson Barrie's very good anymore, but we need to turn the clock back to the 2020-2021 season where his shooting volume was 10% and he scored almost 20 goals. I think he finished with 16 goals that season. So much higher, obviously 10 goals higher than what he's at right now. I think this offense will stay churning in the second half. I think Nurse will have better puck luck with the shot volume that he has right now. If he keeps it at that level, we'll see a much better second half of the season from Darnell Nurse, a guy that you should definitely be buying on if you can. If not, if he's on your team, hold on to him. You're a lucky guy if you have him for the second half of the season. All right, so the guy we're going to be selling in this video, Filip Hronek on the Detroit Red Wings. Looking at his stats at this point of the season, 48 games played, 7 goals, 26 assists, which is pretty high, 13 power play points, 80 hits, 110 shots, and averaging just under 22 minutes of ice time per game. Honestly, really liked this guy at the beginning of the season, but I think this is a great sell right now just because this is definitely his peak value in my opinion. For one, he's very dependent on goals and assists because he doesn't really hit a ton of people or block a ton of shots. There's just other guys on the team that are there for that. Sider, for example, has 100 plus in both those categories right now. Another reason why I think he's a sell, the Detroit Red Wings have the second hardest rest of schedule for the rest of the season here. They need to play Boston twice, Carolina twice, Tampa twice, Seattle twice. The Leafs, they're just in a very difficult conference right now, division especially as well. I just don't see a script where Hronek finishes as a top 20 D-man in fantasy hockey, which is right now he's 20th. He's also a little bit banged up right now. He's day-to-day, so that should be a little bit worrisome too. But in terms of his trade value, I don't think that necessarily hurts because he is a guy with 30 plus points and 100 plus shots at this point of the season. So he's definitely tradable. I move him for maybe Brady Skjei, a guy that I mentioned at the beginning of the video. Tyson Barrie would be a guy too. I think you could definitely swindle some guys and get twice in Barrie. If he's going to stay on that first power play, definitely useful. And then Devon Toews, who can work some magic. Obviously, Devon Toews would be great. Missed a little bit of the season, but he's still contributing a lot on this Colorado Avalanche team. All right, that's it for buy, hold, sell defensemen. Those are 3 defensemen for the rest of the year that you should look at into trading or trading away. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, join the Discord, and I will see you guys next time.